Good morning. It is me, Pearl, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we're about to begin the exploration of the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves. Understanding whatever state these energies are in, we can see reflected back to us in our outside world. So we can glean things about people from our real lives, but only because they're a reflection of this energy. And generally speaking, if you want to be able to change the relationships with people around you, you need to make these changes and shifts inside of yourself first before you're going to see it reflected back to you. All right. We were even Steven today in terms of the number of cards showing, which is kind of rare. I'm going to go with Divine Masculine first because that's what I'm feeling. So let's take a look at the Divine Masculine. I hope you all are well. I missed you yesterday. It's time to get deep. If you didn't get your fill of me yesterday, we did do Grace Draga and I did a live reading on Instagram, which we do every Sunday at noon. And I might start making Sundays a day where I only do that noon reading because it's so close to my morning reading. But I haven't decided officially yet. So I'll play that by ear. As of now, I'm going every single day until I change my mind. Okay. Top of the deck, overall headspace for Divine Masculine today is the moon, and it is in reverse. So this card it came out yesterday actually in the reading with Grace Draga. It's a symbol for this couple. It's come up quite a lot. It's important to them. Their relationship being mostly experienced in the 5D. Because in the 5D, they're in sacred union, they're connected, everything's hunky dory. It's just 3D where we're experiencing these delays in terms of this manifestation and alignment. So it's a card that comes up often for them. For Divine Masculine right now, it's representing his urge to come out of this dream space. And this was here yesterday. It appears that this moved from his headspace yesterday to the forefront of the mind today. So he is really wanting to release his fears and anxieties. I'm sorry, it was in his heart space, moving from his heart space to the forefront of his head space. He's wanting to release fears, anxieties, and uncertainties regarding his ability um, to approach divine feminine and come into physical union with her. So he's working really hard on releasing these subconscious limiting beliefs, the things that have held him back. Ooh, that card is spinning around and around. It's so weird when that happens. Because, like, why doesn't it happen all the time? So weird. Okay. The niggling thought in the back of his mind is the Eight of Swords. So the uncertainties, the anxieties about coming into physical union that have stemmed from the inability of this divine couple to be able to just turn around and see each other there. And he's been protecting them from this experience. He's been protecting himself from that experience, aka sabotaging opportunities to be able to come together when in reality that couple is right there all the time and all they have to do is stop throwing up these roadblocks and obstacles to be able to come together. Well, hello, he is releasing this energy of sabotage or slash protection. So the uncertainties and anxieties he's also trying to release is his ability to engage in these self protective behaviors that prevent him from coming forward. But he's in this place of releasing this energy and coming out of this kind of an energy of like, he feels this is a very protective divine masculine, protective of his divine feminine, protective of himself, protective of the people around him, protective of his image. He's the protector. Some Cancer energy going on in there for sure. Top of the deck, not top of the deck, first thing on his mind, rather. First thing on his mind today is the Five of Wands. But look, it is in its reverse. It showed up a few days ago and it was upright and it was really about him grappling with the divine feminine, which is himself, right? So fighting against himself. Each one of these individuals is strong and on their own, but they collapse without support being supportive of each other. So he is releasing this energy of being in this impasse with divine feminine. He is wanting to break out of this place where they have been in this struggle. And he knows how to do it. Temperance. And she's upright. All right, we have divine couple that definitely has to deal with temperance and devil energy frequently. So right now, divine masculine is working on it. He is allowing the divine to do this healing, balancing these energies within himself, tempering this battle that has been going on, tempering the self-sabotaging / self-protective behaviors that have caused him to be in this impasse with divine feminine. And he's really trusting in the divine protection that temperance provides. And he has to go into temperance because he's dealing with this 3 of Swords, this heartbreak, and the pain that has been caused. And there could actually be a third party energy element here as well. It doesn't have to be karmic partner. It can be family. It can be a job. It can be a rigid belief system, an authority, traditions. Like there's a lot of things that can interfere or block a person from feeling free to pursue what it is that they want and their desires. So it doesn't necessarily have to be some kind of a third party energy in terms of like someone he's seeing or anything. I don't sense that. But there is this outside energy that has caused heartbreak. And so he's pretty wounded from this. And that's what the temperance energy is about, is having to heal the wounds that have been inflicted from this outside energy and caused him and come between the divine couple as well. There's this sense that something has come between them and blocked them, and so he's tempering that. And that could be his behaviors, the 8 of Swords behaviors, And then we have the 10 of Swords, and it fell exactly in the same position that it did 2 days ago underneath this card, and both of them have shifted. So you know how I do that sometimes for divine masculine? He's done that for himself. He stopped fighting against this part of himself to be able to come into union because he's sensing that this is what caused the pain. He's also fighting against the urge to end this union. He wants to come out of this painful separation. So he's wanting to come out of this impasse so that this painful separation will be behind them, because they're both heartbroken right now about the obstacles that are preventing them from coming together. Now, when we look at this and we say, oh, there's a third party and it's outside of ourselves, let me contextualize that for you. These 2 cards go together because the third party that's blocking, that's outside of me, well, that's an obstacle that you're creating in your 8 of Swords energy. And you're like, what? But there's a third person. There's an energy. There's a rigid belief system. There's a this and there's a that and there's a this. And yes, there is. But it is only reflecting your own energy in regards to it. So this energy of third party is just the physical manifestation of your own block that you're putting in front of you so you can delay the union because you need to heal or because you're afraid. Yesterday in the reading that I did with Grace Strega, the closing of the reading had the Magician, it had the 7 of Cups in reverse, and it had the Ace of Wands in reverse. And the meaning of that was about how we manifest, how we attract. And it is that we can be in our magician power of manifestation if we have single minded focus. So we're not, you know, thinking about all these other options, but we're single mindedly focused on what it is that we want to manifest. And then we don't fear, because the Ace of Wands was in reverse, we don't fear our heart's desires. Those two things have to happen in order for us to be able to do whatever it is we want to do. Some of us watch twin flame readings because we want to come into union with our twin. Some of us want to figure out if the person that we're with is our twin. Only you can tell yourself that. And the person that you're with is going to reflect things from your twin back to you, because that's the divine masculine energy of yourself. Some of us want to manifest career changes. Some of us want to be able to increase our abundance in our lives, or whatever. There's all kinds of reasons why we look at these two energies. It's not just a love reading. But in all cases, whatever the physical thing is you want to manifest, if you have any fear or doubt that you can have this thing, which will come from a lot of places. It'll come from limiting beliefs that people perpetuate around us. Remember, who's true is the true truth, right? It'll come from the ages of 0 to 14, when we were indoctrinated with our limiting beliefs from our guardians, from our friends, from media, etc. It will come from those two places. There will be doubt and there will be fear, and those will function as a block. And anytime you go for something you want, if those two things are present, you will throw obstacles in your way, because you are not going to want to do something. That inner child inside of you that's terrified of whatever it is that you're about to do, because they know from their little child experience that they had that this is not a good idea according to whoever authority said this. They're going to be like, oh, we we don't want to have that kind of success. We don't want to come into union. Remember how you got hurt before? Like, remember how mom and dad had the worst relationship ever, and like their whole lives affected how mine was? Like, we don't want to have that happen. Like, whatever is in there, moving around inside of you, you're going to manifest things that will prevent you from getting what you want, because you're afraid of what you want. So you have to go in and you have to clear it out, and you have to temper that energy and call on the divine for help in order to make it through this, right? Okay. So he wants to end the pain of separation by ending the impasse between the two of them. But right now, this is back. This fucking Page of Swords energy that just will not go away. And it is not coming out how we want to see it. This is how we want to see it. We want to see him, a little intimidated, but able to pick up this sword that he's never wielded before and just kind of close his eyes, run into the battle, hope that he's going to stick something with the pointy end, Game of Thrones style, right? And it's Harry Potter with the wand behind the gravestone, about to face Voldemort with only Expelliarmus, okay? It's that energy. It's being a kid, being immature, kind of not exactly knowing how you're going to do this, but you're willing to do it. But for divine masculine, we keep seeing him resist this. He feels like he doesn't have the youthfulness that requires this. You have to have a certain, hi Alicia, hi Ash. You have to have a certain amount of naivete to believe that you can wield a sword you've never wielded before. And he's having a hard time, because this divine masculine, he might not necessarily be aged. He could be on the older side, older than you, etc. And it's not necessarily about that. It is about his energy. Whether he is older or younger is sort of regardless. He carries this energy that he doesn't feel like he's too cynical, like he doesn't have the youthful energy that it would take to wield a sword like this. And so he's really trusting in this temperance, because he's also really afraid to enter this temperance. He's afraid to give up these things that have protected him for so long. If he doesn't do the things that he's done that block him, he will get to have what he wants. He knows that. But if he doesn't do the things that he's done, he doesn't know if he's, capable enough to be able to do what needs to be done, because this has protected him from these thoughts and feelings for so long. So he's still afraid to come out of the separation. He's still afraid to rebuild this tower. And it is the tower that has caused this heartbreak, this pain to the divine feminine and to himself, because he's inflicting this pain on himself by not doing what it is that his heart desires because he's afraid of it. He's inflicting his own wounds. Then he's kind of blaming divine feminine, like, why does she have to make me love her and then I can't have her and that hurts my feelings, right? This immaturity he's resisting, part of the reason that it's here is because he isn't sure how to wield this new idea of himself. He doesn't know how to initiate the rebuilding of the tower. Let me show him. Go at it. Pick up the sword. Figure it out. Children do this. Harry Potter did it with Voldemort. Come on, pick it up. Rebuild the tower, bro. Stop being afraid that you can't. It's the most boring story that I keep having to tell every day on Instagram and YouTube. Come on. Okay. All right, pushing my ego out. Top of the deck, overall heart space for divine masculine is judgment. All right. Now we could have seen this two ways because this is the beautiful vice versa tarot. We could have seen the fiery angel here. This would have brought us back to our temperance energy also, that we've got this protective angel and we have this kind of fearsome, like fierce fiery angel still protecting you, bringing you this salvation, but coming with judgment. What we have divine masculine thinking about, though, is this vulnerability, this coming before this power, this judgment, right, to receive salvation with only these minimal things. And as a child, of course, not needing anything because the child approaches in total innocence. Although as a parent, that's debatable. But ideally, the child has not been damaged yet and approaches with innocence. And then the divine masculine and divine feminine carry, the divine masculine has a skull, which is like this rebirth, death cycle. And the divine feminine has the golden egg, which is like all of the universe contained inside, kind of an idea. And then we have Horus, this messenger here. And this is the moment of atonement. Here we're afraid. We're afraid of the judgments we're receiving. We don't know if we're going to be accepted in our vulnerability. But here we are not as afraid of whether or not we're going to be received. It's like we're willing to be here. We're willing to be vulnerable and stand there naked before this fearsome angel, trusting in the messages that we're receiving. So his heart space is, he's preparing for this judgment. He's also judging himself. He's judging himself. I mean, his headspace, he knows this is, listen, I just told him what he already knows. He already knows he needs to pick up the sword and rebuild the tower. He needs to initiate, rather. It's a project that will be something that happens together, but he needs to initiate it. Like now, right? Okay. The niggling feeling in his heart space today is this Knight of Swords energy that is really difficult for him to keep in this upright position. Upright, we're seeing him charging off, prepared to bring in the truth with directness and clarity and chivalry and honor. There's a plan, there's a strategy, and there's swift action that's taking place. His heart space is resisting this truth. The niggling feeling is he's afraid to face this truth and clarity and this new idea. And that is clear. He's afraid of the page energy. He's afraid of the knight energy. He's afraid that he can't slay his dragons. He's afraid that he can't bring justice to the divine feminine. He's just generally fearing right now his capabilities. And then we have, in the vice versa imagery, we have the death card. Here's the front, which looks pretty scary. And then we have the side where we are looking at what death is facing. So these are the individuals pleading for their lives, basically. And there's a freedom in like surrendering to that divine balancing cycle of rebirth here. So this is the first thing in his heart space, and it's clarifying this impasse in his headspace. So he wants to break this impasse that he's been in with divine feminine and rebirth this connection. And it's like he's pleading for his case right now. And there's two images of that. These individuals that are before their judgment day, they're pleading like, please, please, please. I feel like, don't let this die. Don't let me lose this. Let me bring light to this. Let it come back. Let it grow. His heart space is showing him with this Four of Wands in reverse that the foundation, the spiritual foundation that he longs to have with the divine feminine is blocked. And this temperance energy is the thing that will heal it. What is this blocked by? The devil. I can't make it up. What will heal it? Temperance. But hey, look, divine masculine knows this. This is something he's aware of. He's like, all right, I know what I need to do to be able to have what I want. I need to temper this devil energy inside of me. The codependency, the obsessive, addictive aspects that have seeped into my relationship with divine feminine, potential substance abuse issues that I have, that I'm using to numb and protect myself from my fears about what it is that I want to have. So he's really very much in this energy of needing to temper this devil energy. And the devil is clarifying the Three of Swords. This is what is causing the pain and the suffering. That third party energy, you're looking at it. It's within you. Now look at the craziness of this. Here we have the devil. Do you see those lovers here? The next card up is the lovers. There they are again, but they are healthy and they're united and protected by this angel energy instead of chained to this rigidity of the addiction and the obsession that comes with this devil. This is a general reading there, Kaja, so if you keep watching, you'll definitely get information from it. So we have the devil energy, which is causing the Three of Swords. The Ten of Swords in reverse, which is really wanting to end this painful separation. That is what the lovers is clarifying. So what heals the lovers? Temperance. I can't make it up. Do you see the angel of temperance there? I do. So this divine masculine knows what it is he needs to do. He knows what he needs to heal. He knows what's going wrong in the connection. And he knows what will make it go right. But, oh my God. All right. So we had the whole spiel about this Page of Swords, not being brave enough to wield the sword or whatever. Then we also talked about how yesterday in the live reading, we saw the Magician, the Seven of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Wands in reverse, and you could not be afraid of the thing that you wanted if you wanted to manifest it, right? Well, he's afraid of the truth and he's afraid of what he desires. he's afraid that he desires to enter into this immature energy where he doesn't know exactly what he's doing. He's afraid that he wants to do this because he is a person who strategizes, and he would rather be in a Knight of Swords or a King of Swords energy, or even a Queen of Swords energy, where he has that mindfulness and the air energy and the ability to strategize and have long-term plans and long-term goals. He's really afraid of just diving in, terrified of it. But you know what, Divine Masculine? I'm going to do you this favor. Here you go. You're brave enough to pick up this new idea and run with it and be able to achieve your desire, which is clearly to be in union, in a healthy union with your divine feminine. Okay? Stop being afraid. This Tower card is being clarified by the Two of Wands. The Tower card in reverse means you can't rebuild the tower by yourself, right? You have to wait. You have to wait. You have to make plans. You have to figure out exactly how you're going to do it. There's nothing you can do to rebuild this tower when it's in its reverse. The thing he has to do is pick up the sword, wield it, follow his heart's desire, etc. He is waiting. In this energy, we have the Two of Wands, which is, of course, the twin flame card. So he's waiting on the twin flame journey to a certain extent. He's trusting in the divine. He's holding on to this idea that he has the world in his hands and that it is the divine that is going to help rebuild this tower, which is a wonderful faith to have. So that's where Divine Masculine is today. Let's look at Divine Feminine. Alrighty. Oh my God. Holy shit. Okay. This is stupid. All right. Top of the deck, overall headspace for this Divine Feminine is Queen of Coins, aka Queen of Pentacles, from the Fountain Tarot. She's a beautiful, incredible, abundant, fertile, creative queen. She has her foundation. She is set for life. She's the foundation for the Empress. My nose is running. No bueno. Okay. For the Empress, right? This is the foundation. Divine Feminine is right now in this energy where she is feeling her Queen of Pentacles energy isn't fully realized. She feels the potential for her to embody this energy, but it is not fully realized yet because, number one, Divine Masculine has not come into union with her physically. So part of her has this process in her brain where she thinks that she must be realized so that Divine Masculine will come towards her. And so there's this blockage going on where she thinks she needs to change or be different or alter herself in some way so the Divine Masculine will see her the way that she is hoping that he will see her. The irony is, if you saw the live reading yesterday, Divine Masculine already sees her in his heart space as the Queen of Pentacles. She doesn't have to do anything to change or alter herself to be seen in this manifested way for him, to see her in her power, her abundance, her creativity. He already sees her that way. But Divine Feminine has concerns that she's not reaching and achieving her full potential, and that this is somehow blocking her from this Divine Masculine. She wants to be in her full power in that material manifestation. The union you're about to see from this reading is nutty. It's one of those days where I'm like, okay. The niggling thought in the back of her heart space is none other than the Three of Swords. So we have two energies, Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, in union right now, right? They are both feeling this pain from these wounds that have affected this manifestation, this union between them. They're both in pain from it. They're both suffering. Divine masculine is suffering because he feels this energy that has come between them, which he is associating with this devil energy. He could actually even be thinking that there is some kind of demonic entity. I don't ever talk about that, but I feel that there might be something that's actually out of his control that's causing this pain or causing him to inflict pain. There's some message about that. Regardless, the niggling thing in the back of Divine Feminine is, and her headspace is, I can't be this Queen of Pentacles right now because of my wounds. I can't manifest. I can't be all that my potential I'm aware of because of these wounds I've experienced. I'm too wounded to be fully realized. Now look at the first thing in Divine Feminine's headspace. The first thought on her mind is the Five of Wands. And the first thought on Divine Masculine's mind is the Five of Wands. It's in the same position. And in this case, we're seeing mirrored energy. We have a Divine Feminine who feels she is at an impasse with this Divine Masculine. She has come to an impasse with him. He is wanting to end this impasse and rebirth this connection between them, right? With this Death card. Well, look at the next thought in Divine Feminine's head, because I can make it up. Her Five of Wands energy that she is in, she wants to end. This is the Death card. She wants to bring an end, to transform utterly this Five of Wands energy between them. So does Divine Masculine. Now, Divine Masculine wants to rebirth the connection. That is how he knows he can end that impasse. Divine Feminine has a different thing on her mind. Divine Feminine has realized that she is at an impasse and she wants to transform herself. She wants to end this impasse by transforming herself. And to do that, she's surrendering in this Hanged Man energy to the divine to achieve perspective on the impasse, perspective on the wounds she's received, and to be able to basically allow the divine to inspire her and to show her her destiny, because that is the next card, the Wheel of Fortune. So she is seeking, this is a lot of major arcana energy, by the way. She is seeking to end this impasse that she is sensing that she is in with herself. This isn't even about Divine Masculine. She is at an impasse inside of herself. And she wants to transform herself utterly, going into Hanged Man energy to be able to get perspective on her destiny, okay? This Five of Wands is clarified by the Wheel of Fortune, which means she is accepting that this impasse, this moment in her life where she cannot go forward or backward with this particular aspect of self, this Divine Masculine part of self, it is part of her journey. It is part of her destiny. It is part of her fortune. And she senses with that Death card and that transformation and the ability to surrender and gain perspective that there will be a massive shift or turn or change in this impasse energy. And how do we know that's true? Divine Masculine. He's wanting to massively shift this energy through death and rebirth. Now, that can mean death of the connection and rebirth into a new connection, but it can also mean death of the behaviors that are blocking the connection as well, that transformation that Divine Feminine is after. What follows this destiny, this change, this shift, this transformation? Momentum. Here is the Eight of Wands, momentum. No longer stuck. And remember, stuck is an illusion. We feel we're stuck because we keep thinking the same things. Everything is constantly changing because we're in a vibrational environment and everything is changing and vibrating all the time. But when we're thinking the same things over and over and over, when the changes happen in our environment, it changes back to exactly what we were thinking. That's why you can go back through the list of people that you've dated in your life and find tons of similar patterns where you just kept doing the same thing over and over and over and over. You know, different face, different place, same shit. Same shit, different day, right? Stuck is an illusion. Stuck is choosing deliberately to think about how you're stuck and keep thinking about the same things, and then everything changes to what's going on. Which is why you must put an end to the energy whereby you're thinking and communicating and doing the same things you always do, keeping you in that stuck energy. You have to kill that, transform it, be reborn in the Hanged Man energy, experience that change in your fortune, understand how this played a role in your destiny. And once you can do that, this momentum towards your goals, towards the ideals that you want, towards this union, towards being with this person, anything that you are here to learn about or manifest, boom, there it is, heading towards it at a really fast, incredible speed, and receiving messages and clarification that have to do with the death that has happened. So if there has been a death in in this union between this divine masculine, it's getting the perspective that allows you to understand how destiny has played a role, the answers that you need, the messages that you need that are clarifying why you had to transform in such a drastic way. And this is her Queen of Swords energy. And this is the reason that she is seeking the Hanged Man energy, the pause. This is the surrender because she's in the shadow traits of the Queen of Swords, which is to be too protective, too defensive, cutting, not really using her mind as effectively as she should, not being as analytical as she should. Although looking at this headspace right now, this is a divine feminine who knows what is the what. So I do feel she actually has light traits of the Queen of Swords. And that's why we're seeing the Queen of Swords, even though she is in her reversal. And both of the queens are in her reversal right now because of the pain that she's got in the back of her mind. That pain makes it difficult for her to feel fully in her power. So she's surrendering. She's surrendering the pain. She's surrendering the things that are going to cause her to be in this hardened energy, defensive, and having her heart closed off. Okay, let's go to her heart space. Oh my God. Okay. Top of the deck, overall heart space is the Eight of Cups in is upright. The Eight of Cups upright. And so this is a card about disappointment. It's about having to walk away from what doesn't serve you. And it's about having to walk away from some of the really good things that were there, even though some of the other things were not good. It's heading towards a higher calling. It's relinquishing some success because that success might have been poisoned in some way. It's about really starting to be aware that there are some things that are not good for you. They might be disguised, they might seem good for you, but they're not. And walking away from them and choosing your higher calling, which in this case has to do with this, the subconscious, intuition, because if it is that moon energy. And it's also the unknown, uncertainty, mystery, not quite sure how things are going to work out, but being willing to walk away anyway, because the way that things were in this Five of Wands energy, it's not serving you. The niggling feeling in the heart space is patience. It is the Three of Wands, the complementary card that follows the Two of Wands. You allow the divine to do what it is that needs to be done. You laid your plans, and here they are now, those pieces falling into place. And we head from that Three of Wands into the Four of Wands, and then to the Five, and then to the Six, and so on, right? So we see through the spread this progression that's happening. We had the Ace, we had the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Five of Wands. We're really making this journey. together. This is across both of these spreads. And she's patient because she knows that the pieces are falling into place. She understands in her heart that everything is going according to this plan, right? Here's that Wheel of Fortune in her headspace. Well, looky. It's the first thing in her heart space, too. This Wheel of Fortune. Now, this is good fortune. This is abundance. This is luck, destiny, change. And this Wheel of Fortune is clarifying the Five of Wands, which was clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. So I can't really make this up. Not that I would want to, because I benefit from these readings too. The Wheel of Fortune, the change, the drastic shift or change in this impasse energy. Stuck no longer. Even your heart feels that shifting, changing energy. Oh my God. The next card, I can't. Okay, this card, the Knight of Cups. It is in its reverse. And it is clarifying the Death card. So this is your heart understanding that while you are so fixated on your divine masculine coming towards you with that cup, what you're missing is that what needs to be transformed is that you don't know how to receive such a thing. You have no idea how to receive this cup. You're telling me, oh, I'm ready for love. I'm ready. Do you love yourself? Yeah. You're not ready to receive this cup yet. You have to transform. You have to surrender your perspective because something inside of you is keeping you from seeing your power, from seeing your efficacy, from seeing your ability to create abundance here, to provide for yourself, to protect yourself. So your heart is telling you this fixation you have on this divine masculine who's not here and not expressing, he is matching you because you are not ready to receive this cup yet, and you are needing to transform this energy where you can receive such a thing from this divine masculine. But you're very wounded. That is 3 decks out of 4 decks. 3 of Swords. Guess what? Y'all are in pain. Did you know? You all are wounded. Both of you. Deep wounds in the heart space. And these are the wounds that are blocking your ability to receive the cup or to bring in that truth, clarity, and directness in divine masculine's case because of his wounds and the healing that you are all doing. But you are doing this healing. Oh, looks like you're overfeeling. Oh, no, you're not. I'm just putting the cards down in the wrong spots. Oh, I should mention that this not third party, but I guess third party, but 3 of Swords is clarifying the Hanged Man. So this is your reason for surrendering and needing perspective because of these wounds that you've experienced. You need to know how these wounds have played a role in your destiny and how they have hindered, how they have helped you. You are still over feeling. I wasn't wrong. Okay. Oh, shit. Damn, okay. All right, so the next card up is the King of Wands. It is in reverse and it's clarifying this destiny. So, again, we have another royal card in its reversal. So we have this thing where it's like we feel it, but we don't feel the full potential of it. Yesterday in Divine Masculine's reading, this fucking card was finally upright. He was finally feeling like the King of Wands who could take action and follow his passion and just be a really visionary leader. So you're hoping that this destiny will shift this fortune to to turn this around, to turn this card around so that you have the ability to take action for yourself. You are a visionary leader and you can attract someone that is like this. That is what this hope is in terms of this destiny, that this experience you're having is to be able to show you how to attract a divine masculine that is in his King of Wands strength and power. All right. In your heart space is the sun. This is divine masculine energy. This is clarifying this Eight of Wands. This is the momentum. This is you being propelled towards your happiness by this changing energy, this fortunate change in this energy. And remember, that King of Wands is clarified on both sides. It's clarified in the headspace by this Wheel of Fortune, and it's clarifying the Wheel of Fortune that is above it in the heart space. So this is what your shift or turn or change in fortune is indicating. And this is what will bring you this happiness swiftly, because that king of Wands is he takes action fast. He does not wait around. And it's propelling you towards your happiness. It's melting. This is a horse, but it's melting the snow, and beneath the snow is all this growth, that transformation, and allowing you to receive this divine masculine energy powerfully. Your Queen of Swords is being clarified by two cards. The first card is the Page of Pentacles, and it is upright. So you are assessing an offer right now. You are also feeling like it's a bit small. And it is the offer that you're bringing yourself, clearly, because there's no divine masculine bringing you an offer at this moment. And your Queen of Pentacles is in reverse. So you are feeling that what you are producing is not sufficient enough, and that you're not using your head wisely to be able to increase the value of what you have to offer so that you can shift into this full potential of this Queen of Pentacles. So your heart is feeling you need to analyze why it is that this offer is not big enough for you. Not only the one that's not coming from divine masculine, but the one that you're bringing yourself to the table. This is not significant enough. And that is causing you heartbreak too, because that's clarifying that Three of Swords. That this offer is not significant, that this offer is not coming in. Final card. Oh, hang on, I gotta find where it is. Oh, of course. The Moon, mirrored by divine masculine. For you, there is this understanding that this offer is blocked by your fears, anxieties, uncertainties in regards to it. Am I good enough? I don't know. Going into the dream space, escaping, not using your head, instead kind of being a little bit too dreamy. And if you could go into the light traits of this queen and really strategize and plan, which you have to do, you need bravery to do that. But if you could do that, you could come out of these anxieties and fears about this offer actually coming, actually being big enough, good enough for you. Okay, let's look at the billion oracles, because there's a billion today. So, oh God. Okay. Divine masculine, you are in the light traits of the pioneer. This is a passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. And you're releasing this compulsive need to move on. You are really passionate about doing something different. You're being boosted in this energy as well, which is significant, because in your head and heart, you're afraid to be a pioneer, but you are actually in this place where you have this passion for doing and creating what has not been done before, and you just have to match that with bravery. You are also in the light attributes of mother energy, which is nurturance, patience, unconditional love, and a joy in giving birth to life. So you are not smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. That is a thing of the past. You're just being very nurturing, patient, offering unconditional love to yourself and the divine feminine, and taking joy actually in this process of doing and creating what has not been done before. You're actually starting to find that this is something that is bringing you joy, just to be on this journey. You're getting this again. Practice makes perfect, divine masculine. This means that you do not have to be a master. You do not have to be a master to wield the sword. You must just practice doing it. That is it. Practice is what makes you perfect, and you don't have to be perfect before you become manifest in this union. Don't kill me. 44. I will reach for the best feeling thought I have access to. Always be reaching for the feeling of relief that comes when you release a more resistant thought and replace it with a more allowing, better feeling thought. The stream of well being is always flowing through you, and the more you allow it, the better you feel. The more you resist it, the worse you feel. So, divine masculine, when you're releasing a resistant thought and replacing it with a more allowing, better thought, and there's no better example of this. Here's your resistant thought, right? The fears about codependency. And here's a more allowing thought, this healthy, loving relationship. Every time that you replace a resistant thought with a more allowing, better feeling thought, then well-being is flowing through you. And the more you allow it, the better you feel. The more you resist, the worse you will feel. So just keep telling yourself, I will reach for the best feeling thought I have access to. It's got to be believable. So if it's small, it's small. Show the world the real you. You have a thing for hiding, for being afraid of showing the real you. It's time to just do it. A win-win forecast, a win-win outcome, is forecast. So everybody's going to win here. There's balance. That's that temperance energy of balancing. Everyone is going to win. Don't be afraid. Y'all know this is true. Time for healing. We didn't get three of swords without there needing to be a time for healing. So this time for healing is taking place, allowing you to temper that energy, divine masculine, that you're experiencing. Trust your path. If you knew you were supported, what would you do? If you knew that you could do anything you wanted and you would be utterly supported in that by your family, by your friends, by society, by your finances, by every aspect of self, you would be fully supported, what would you do? Trust that you are supported. You are fully supported. Trust it. Where are you being called to journey to? You know where that is, divine masculine. Go towards divine feminine immediately. Okay. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. So this time for healing is about awakening even more to this twin flame journey, awakening to a new way of being and integrating the divine feminine within. Then we are getting from my Colette Baron Reed deck, the Spirit Animal Oracle, which I am learning. We're getting the Oracle messages today from Porcupine Spirit, which is time for the beginner mind. When porcupine spirit calls your name, you're being asked to adopt a beginner's mind and to approach situations with innocence and curiosity. The old confining stories no longer have a hold on you. Life is full of surprises hiding in plain sight. Looking at the world afresh with new eyes can help you find what you have been seeking, whether it is a relationship, an opportunity, or evidence that you have all you need right now to co create what you desire. Who knew? Porcupine asks you to be playful and have a childlike curiosity. There is so much waiting for you that you have yet to discover. So, the divine is telling you, divine masculine, now is the time for beginner's mind. So, I already shifted those upright for you. All right, divine feminine, let's take a look at you. Uh-oh. All right. You are in the shadow attributes, or you're called to look at the shadow attributes of the prostitute, which is places material considerations and security above self empowerment. And you want to call in the light, which accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. So, divine feminine, in some way right now, you are placing your material consideration and security above your self empowerment. So your fears about material well being, they are allowing you to make choices that are out of alignment. They're negotiating the power of your spirit. Basically you're surrendering something to someone else. Oh my God, I just saw the card behind this. Damn. You're surrendering your power to someone else in such a way because you're afraid of the material consequences to you, potentially financial. But you should never surrender that power. You should never put your material well being above your self empowerment. So call in the light there and accentuate that challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. So that there is something that you are negotiating right now and you are feeling like it is depleting you or it is hindering your self-empowerment, reconsider the negotiations and make sure you are serving your self-empowerment, not your fears about material well-being. That's very important. The reason I was like, oh my God, is because divine masculine's second archetype that he got was mother energy, and divine feminine's second archetype that she got is father energy. Can't make that up. Divine feminine, you are in the light attributes of the father, which is a talent for creating and supporting life and a positive guiding light within a tribal unit. And you have released the shadow attributes of dictatorial control and abuse of authority. Now, do you know what this means when we see this like this? This means the twins are balanced. Divine masculine has integrated divine feminine. Divine feminine has integrated divine masculine. Neither one is smothering, controlling, manipulative, or abusive. Hey, that's not too shabby. We like to see that. Divine feminine, your guardian angel is here to support you with these blessings of abundance that you feel a little bit incapable of actually manifesting and controlling and consistently seeing. These blessings of abundance are here, and your guardian angel is helping you figure out how to receive them, how to get into that Knight of Cups energy upright and receive the cup. And here's how. I must be selfish enough to align with well-being. If you are not selfish enough to deliberately align with the energy of your source, you have nothing to give anyway. Some worry that if they take too much of the pie, others will be left with nothing. While in reality, the pie expands in proportion to the vibrational requests of all of you. In the Bible, there's the scene where there's a crowd of people gathered as Jesus preaches the Sermon on the Mount. And at the end of that sermon, the apostles start to freak out because they're like, bro, there's like way more people here than we planned, and we literally don't have anything to feed them. And they've been here for hours listening to you. Like, what are we going to do, Jesus? And they're all freaking out. And Jesus is like, can you just give me a basket of loaves and fishes, please? And he blesses them and then passes them out, and they expand exponentially in proportion to the vibrational requests of the crowd. So there was no worry that there was too many people to be able to provide for, because spirit provides in proportion to the vibrational requests. All of those people that were hungry, they all needed to have their hunger satiated. They were in a state of high vibration, listening to that sermon, being in a place of faith and belief. And because they were there, they were able to be granted this abundance. None of them could have done that if they were not selfish enough to deliberately align. They all stopped doing work that day. They all fucked off what they were supposed to be doing to go listen to Jesus, right? They needed to be selfish enough to deliberately align with that energy of source. If they didn't do that, they wouldn't have had anything to give away, and they wouldn't have had anything to receive. That's the best way I can describe that energy. You need to be selfish enough to go to that Sermon on the Mount, listen to the messages that you need to listen to, that you need to hear, so that you can align and receive abundance, health, love, wealth, right? Divine Feminine, you are very close to achieving your goal. You are very, very close here. I know it feels like it's taking so long, but really, it's not. I've only been doing this account since May of 2020, and so much has changed while I have been doing these readings. So just know that you are very, very, very close to achieving your goal. You are right now in this moment good enough. You don't have to worry about not being good enough, Divine Feminine. You are. You are good enough. It's your turn. This is usually up on Divine Masculine side, but you are Divine Masculine, right? You have the same fears. You are good enough to do this. Meditate and contemplate. When you get this card, take it seriously. When you see this card come up in a reading, do it that day. Don't wait. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to start a meditative practice. I'm going to download Calm and I'll start tomorrow. No. If you see this card, take this message, right? Meditate and contemplate. Now, in alignment with your Hanged Man energy that came up in your headspace, you are getting no, wait, postpone, pause, and say no. Now, I'm getting a couple meanings for that. Number one, you're paused in your Hanged Man's energy. You need perspective right now. You need perspective about something. So wait or postpone or pause, whatever it is. And the thing that I think you need this perspective about is some kind of negotiations in regards to your self-empowerment. So don't say yes quite yet. Wait a minute, pause, meditate. That's meditate and contemplate. It's got that Four of Cups energy. That's also about pausing. Pause in that Four of Cups energy. Meditate and contemplate before making a decision, and make sure that you are honoring your self-empowerment in whatever decision that you make. Weird. There's a bug on my card. Interesting. I don't even know how that got in here. All right. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. And then that insect just kind of startled me. So do something to change, however small, even if it's the tiniest movement, the tiniest thing, even if it's that when you saw the meditate and contemplate card today, you did it. You danced with life. Life sent you a message and you were like, you know what? I'm going to do that. And I'm telling you, do that, because the next card that comes up is deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. So rest, pause, meditate, contemplate. Do one small little thing to change your energy. And if that is that you are no longer focusing on Divine Masculine for 15 minutes because you're meditating, let that be what it is. But get to it. Get to it, Divine Feminine. All right. You are also getting this message from Elephant Spirit, which is learn from the past. Stuck energy means I'm thinking the same things over and over again. So Learn from what you've been doing, thinking, saying, acting over and over again, right? Although we often wish we could leave the past behind, Elephant Spirit reminds us that memory matters. We must respect the wisdom of the elders who hand down to us traditions they have shaped to express our connection to each other and respect for the community. What has come before informs what we are experiencing today, and we must never forget our legacy of strength and dignity. Elephant Spirit appears with the message that we are to acknowledge that which came before and learn from it. All of us are memory based creatures, and we must revisit the past to understand where we are and where we are going. The stories of events you have experienced, the stories in our collective memory, and the stories of relationships you have had can be told in many ways. What story will you tell? Elephant Spirit is here to encourage you to make it one that stirs in you a sense of power and dignity. For you have honored yourself by choosing to learn from your past. Spirit rejoices at your willingness to learn and grow. And I have to laugh at this card because I do this program I mentioned frequently on Tuned in Tarot, called How to Manifest by Lacey Phillips. And I'm working on Unblocked Money. And I finished that and started or went back to finish Unblocked Love because, funnily enough, I started Unblocked Love, stopped it because my divine masculine started making gestures, and I was like, "Oh, he's coming." and then here I am still by myself and was like, "Oh, I guess I should have finished Unblocked Love." And then I went to work on it and was like, I see why I stopped doing it, because it was calling on me to release any specific manifestations that could potentially be blocking me. And so I had stopped at that point because I was interested in a specific manifestation, right? Well, I'm doing it again. And what's really funny is what I had to do last night was write down every dating experience since high school, which, since I'm a Venus and Virgo, is not too many, because although I'm a Leo sun and Leo moon and very lusty, that Venus and Virgo energy is like, I must be with my true love forever. So it's really hard for us. So we're very picky, and we also stay in relationships for a minute. So there wasn't a ton, but there were some. I wrote them down, and then I wrote down next to it situationships, which is not dating but complex. And there was a handful of those as well. And now today, I actually have to go back and write a paragraph about each one of those relationships to trace these patterns. And I love that this card came up today to ask me, what story will you tell? And to tell one of empowerment. I shouldn't write down the things I don't want to manifest. I should write down the things that helped me transform in those relationships. So very poignant for me to see that card today. And if you've never tried any of Lacey Phillips' courses, howtomanifest.com, she's amazing. If you do decide to start following her program, hit me up, tunedintarot@gmail. I'd love to talk to you about your experiences, just like as a friendly thing, and just because I've learned so much from it, and it's just really cool. And when you read what you've written and like out yourself, because it's a lot about outing shame and stuff with another person, it's really effective. So if you want a buddy or a partner or whatever, hit me up. And if you want a personal reading, same place, tunedintarot@gmail.com. All right, let's close out this reading with the bottom of the deck for y'all. I can't fucking believe it. For all of you in this collective, for the divine masculine and the divine feminine together, Jesus Christ. All right. You're in the light attributes of visionary energy, which is the capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, and a willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. So you're both in this King of Wands energy right now. King and Queen of Wands energy of being visionary and being willing to proclaim this before it's, conceivable to other people, and not being concerned about your own personal gain, but holding this vision because you know that coming into union on this journey, not just being about the physical union with a specific person, although I'm sure that's motivating you, but really what it's meaning is that you heal these wounds. As you heal these wounds, you learn this process, you get to have the ability to Teach others how to heal themselves, which is how we will improve everything all around us. It's not just about, oh, I have a great house and I have all the things I need and want. It is like you get that. When you start to do this work, you start to get those things because that is what is promised. When you ask, it is given, period. That was already promised. It's promised to everybody. It's just that the process of that is what we learn as we live. That's what we learn. And I think that there used to be a time when we studied it and we don't anymore. And we're all really lost for a long time until we start to kind of see some of these signs and get pulled into this collective. And we're like, what is going on? Like, I have some kind of purpose and I don't know what it is, but like, there's some reason I keep seeing this number and there's some reason I keep coming back to this person, right? So you're in your visionary energy. St. Hildegard von Bingen is here to help you believe. Now, she's a big champion for this union. It is hard to believe, right? You have the capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable. How do you have that capacity? From these spiritual teachers and guides that are here to support you. Learn about St. Hildegard von Bingen, a musician, a writer, a leader. She was an incredible saint, and she is here to help you believe in the potential that you have in this union, in yourselves, to really come into physical union. To receive what I want, I must not push against unwanted. Ooh, good message. This is an expanding universe, and all things must be allowed. In other words, for you to understand and experience what you desire, you must understand that which you do not desire. For in order to be able to choose and focus, both must be present and understood. In other words, it's not going to be a cakewalk, right? But that's on purpose. That's being done for you, not to you, because you are experiencing, when you're experiencing something you don't want, it is just as clarifying as having a desire for something you want. When something shit happens, you're like, I don't fucking want this to happen to me again. The universe is like, all right, she's not into that. Let's take a different tactic. If you keep focusing on that, always happens to me. That's what happens to me every time. It happens to me every single time. Every single time I do this, this is what happens. The universe is going to keep presenting that to you because you're pushing against what you don't want. Get off the subject, drop it, and walk away. Put it down and walk away from whatever it is that you're focused on that you are going to attract by feeding it details. Don't push against things that are unwanted. Don't resist them. Allow them to pass through you. Don't talk about them a lot. Don't feed them a lot of energy. Focus on what is wanted, not what is unwanted. Understand that the unwanted things are helpful. Try to reframe them. Try to understand them as somehow being positive for yourself. A personal issue reaches resolution. Now, this is for the both of you. So this is a personal issue between you. There is some personal issue between the two of you that you share that is reaching a resolution. And that's Cancer energy from that card. And this is why I was like, oh my God, I think this is like 4 days. Play. This divine couple needs to have fun, celebrate with that 3 of Cups energy, come into reunion, and don't be so serious. You need to play. You need to have fun. You're very, very humdrum right now. You're very, woe is me. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do this. No, come out of that. You need to really come out of that energy and just play and have fun, whatever way you can. If you know, and this is for both of you, have to change this energy. And I also think it means that 5D experience of each other as well, where you're playing, imagining what it's like to be together, whatever you do to play that you are, because that's what you did as a child. When you were a child, you pretended, you played that you were a rock star. You played that you were a mom and had a little baby and you were in your little domestic kitchen set thing. You played what you were imagining it would be like as you grew and came into the desires that you had, right? So you need to do that same thing. You need to play, you need to pretend. Play The Sims. Make yourself on the Sims. Be careful with that one because when it dies, you get very attached. But play things that make you not take this relationship so freaking seriously. Owl Spirit is here with the oracle message, you see clearly now. Owl Spirit arrives to remind you that the wisdom within you is informed by your keen senses and the wisdom within the consciousness we all share. Even in the darkest night, the owl sees clearly and is guided by every sense it has, including the first sense of intuition. Right now, your sensitivities are turbocharged and you are receiving messages from all directions. Owl Spirit reminds you to be wise and pay attention to what's between the lines, what is invisible to the naked eye, what cannot be heard with the ears, and what others may not be able to perceive. With all your senses aroused, you have much knowledge available to you. Clarity will come as you sit with all that you are sensing, allowing your intuition to guide you in understanding the whole and not just the parts. Let your wisdom arise and be your guide as you trust the acuity of all your senses. Intuition is real and can provide the clarity you need to understand your situation right now, your relationship, your finances, your job. Whatever it is, you can see the truth clearly now. Okay. My sister has started doing this thing where she just unplugs completely for one whole day. No phone, no media of any kind, not even any books. She just exists for the day. She eats her food, she does her body movement, she does a lot of meditation. She's an Aries sun, Aries moon, and Capricorn rising, so this is not easy for her to do. She's way more social than me. My Pisces rising keeps me very introverted for the most part. I'm an introverted extrovert for sure. But she's an extrovert du jour. So it's very difficult for her, but she's received a lot of clarity from doing this. So take a page from her book. She also reads, if you are ever wanting a different perspective, Champagne Supernova is her Instagram, and she's a powerful reader as well. But this ability to detach from external opinions, ideas, conversations, media, songs, whatever, and tune in really. I haven't done it yet. It's really hard for me. I will try it. I will try it and I will tell you how it goes, but I don't know what day yet. I will plan for it. I should probably just do it tomorrow. Okay. All right. Let's close this very long reading with our goddess for today. It is Hera. I think it's interesting because of the blue, like that speak your truth kind of thing I'm getting from this card. But Hera is an ancient goddess who, before she appeared as wife to Zeus in Greek mythology, was a powerful matrilineal queen in her own right. Hera is the original, all powerful, multifunctional goddess responsible for every aspect of existence, a symbol of the complete woman. Among the Greeks, Hera was the goddess of marriage, a special goddess of women who accompanies each woman through every moment of her life. Her various titles point to her roles as bringer of fertility, goddess of marriage, protector of children, of women during childbirth, and of money, and presider over all aspects of public life. Presented with a peacock, symbolic of beauty, luxury, and immortality. Spots on its feathers reflect the starry firmament, and the peacock has knowledge of the weather, reflecting the ancient role of the goddess as bringer of the seasons. Hera is a mature, powerful goddess combining both practicality and nurturing, a strong image of the queen with, right? Divine feminine, your queen within. So carry Hera today with you. You can do that heart meditation where you put both hands over your heart for 15 minutes. You think over and over, my heart is the heart of the goddess, and embody that Hera energy within you. All right. We are closing the reading. Monica, I see your question. You can go to tunedintarot@gmail to request a personal reading, but I don't answer questions usually in these general check-ins in the mornings. But I'd be more than happy to answer your question personally. tunedintarot@gmail.com or tunedintarot on Instagram. Jump in my DMs. Speaking of Instagram, if you would like to win a free reading, which is about $100 value, You can participate in the challenge going on. It's very simple. Think of a song that embodies the lover's card. I said it was simple, but now your brain is hurting because there are so many songs that could embody that card. Choose one that speaks to you personally because when you choose that song, you want it to reflect sort of where you're at. Or you can choose it randomly and let the spirit tell you where you're at. However, you decide. Go to my Instagram. In my stories for the next couple of weeks, there's going to be an opportunity for you to answer in the question box, not in the comment, but in the question box. Answer what song you think embodies the lovers. You can do as many submissions as you want. There's no limit at this point. So go ahead and submit as many songs as you want to. We're going to make a master playlist. And then when we shuffle that playlist, if your song comes up, you can win a free reading. Pretty simple. So if you want to do that, go over to Instagram, Tuned In Tarot, and participate. There is a story up today, and I will let you know every time I put one up, but I did put one up today, so you can go today and get your submission in pronto. And this will be going on for the next couple of weeks, and then probably in the last week of January, I will shuffle the playlist that week, and I will give out 2, maybe 3 readings, depending on how that energy flows. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. Please like, share, subscribe, click notifications so you know when I'm going live. It would be great to really grow this channel and get the messages out to those who need it. And if you are interested in music production, I'm going to be running a music production workshop for women that is going to be taking place soon. I am spending this month researching and kind of coming up with ideas for what would be important. So if you have something that you would like to know about production, I had someone ask me yesterday, what kind of mics are best for home recording and how can I EQ them in a way that will make them sound good whether I recorded in my bedroom or not, which is of course something I will definitely be talking about. So anything like that you might want to know about music production, and you can have zero experience in music production and take this workshop. But the goal is you'll have a song idea, and I will help you produce that track as your co-producer in the workshop environment with the opportunity to meet up for office hours so that you can have a little one-on-one. I can listen to your song and give you direct feedback. So that's going to come up in the next month or so. And I'm just doing the research to be able to make sure that it really hits all of the points that people want to know. So if you have any ideas or questions or things that you would want to learn from a workshop like that, please send me a message, tunedintarot@gmail.com, and let me know. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day today. 122 I hit today. That was a long reading. Take care.